But, how can we establish these kinds of mentorship programs in the workplace? I think your example of trusted interns, where you get two people to join at the same time, is nice. Um, right now, I think it happens quite haphazardly sometimes. I mean, some people have great bosses who really nurture them and grow them. I've had that experience in my working life. Other people have horrendous experiences of, bosses or managers who don't necessarily see their value or don't recognize their uh, their intrinsic capabilities and their drivers, and kind of nurture those. So how can workplaces make this more scalable, more of a reality, more sustainable for young employees?
So I suppose the place of work is it's people. If you look at business and you look at organizations, they've got their own challenges as well. In terms of staff retention and creating a sense of meaning and purpose for everyone. I suppose they also need to find a balance between um, how do I keep this member of staff? How do I stimulate them in such a way that they are finding a sense of enjoyment in their work? And then it's also about the individual sitting with themselves and asking themselves, how do I derive a sense of meaning from this work? Because uh, um, any job can be meaningful if you are able to derive the learnings from it, the lessons from it. If you're able to see value in, what did that job mean for you at that specific age? What are the things that you learned that you couldn't have learned if you didn't do that job? Those types of lessons that come from the world of work. So meaning is one thing, but purpose is another thing, and a purpose is a very broad concept, and I think it's something that we are, as people, we are constantly evolving into. So I think what people could do at work is really look deeper at the relationship between the managers or the hierarchical kind of setting, and kind of um, find a way to minimize the barriers that are between the boss and the employee, because there might be an issue there. There might be barriers there that we do not understand, or we're not able to appreciate enough. So that really comes down to the personal effectiveness of the person that is in the superior position. I think uh, how is that person able to be a mentor as well in that respect, and also appreciate and understand that they are role models regardless of the position, that people are always looking up to them, that respect doesn't, it's not demanded, that it's earned. Those types of human principles, I suppose, that is not often highlighted enough.
Absolutely. I think a lot of the time when we talk about youth unemployment, we speak about education and all the hard skills, but the basic human element and the soft skills component is often lacked. Kulu, do you maybe want to tell us a little bit about what made your entrance into the world of work, your internship experience? What are some of the positive things that you experienced in that journey that you think would be valuable for other young people to experience, and for other employees to maybe practice in their work environments?
I think definitely having a very supportive work environment. Because I know with my first job, I worked with a lot of young people we were at the same age group, so we understood each other's journeys. That we don't have a lot of experience, so we did lean on each other a lot. And also being also part of a graduate program where everyone is basically all in the beginning of our careers. We're starting at the same stage and we learn each other. If someone doesn't know something, we help each other as well. So a graduate, like having programs like that is very helpful, because you have like your peers to lean on and to help you when you don't understand certain things. Also having, because I know there were like seminars we had, maybe like in the HR would have a little conference where she would go through like contracts and like how the corporate world works, and things like that really do help. And like little seminars about like time, how to manage your time, and different, like for different phases of your career, because sometimes work can get overwhelming and you won't know what to do. And as a young person, you feel very intimidated about telling your boss that I can't do certain things, and you feel like you're failing. So having like little seminars and talks about time management and how to sort of carry yourself in the workplace is very helpful for young people as well. Also, like having like really great employees and great managers is always a great experience. Having like really fun managers, and having like sitting at lunches together and getting to know people is also really helpful. I think it's once you in an environment that is, and you have a manager that's easy to talk to and easy to approach, it makes your journey way easier. Also someone like working in an environment that's very open, where it's also okay to, I think it's also okay for managers to teach interns and young people that sometimes you won't be able to meet a deadline. You should be able to approach me as a manager. So it's very open to you should have difficult conversations with young people as well, because like these are things that we're going to go through our careers as we go on. So it's very important to sort of have all types of conversations with young people and like first time job seekers and people who just started their careers. So yeah, like a positive, very open environment is definitely very important.
Absolutely. I think having a space where young people feel like they can show up in whatever way they need to, and ask for help if they need it, and say that they're running out of money for transport fare because they're the only breadwinner in their household. Having spaces where young people can have those conversations is extremely important. Jared, maybe you want to give me some examples of how employers that you've worked with through Trusted Interns, how they make this type of mentorship and on-the-job learning possible for young employees.
Cool. So I think the one thing that, just to quickly segue onto what both Lance and Ulu said, is that often it really comes down to just an alignment of expectations and communication, and really developing an open and transparent relationship between the employee and the manager, where they can be honest with each other. So some of the examples that we've seen that have worked really well often speak to having weekly touch base sessions. So every single week having a one-on-one with your manager. And that's just about constantly being on the same page with regards to the challenges that the individual might be experiencing, and also for the manager to then impart any knowledge or wisdom or feedback on how that particular individual is performing in their job. But completely aligned with that is, as I said, aligned expectations, but just knowing exactly what the path is. So we have found that the organizations that work with their talent in such a way that they show them the path that they should be taking, and they know what the end goal is. So it's not just, okay, cool, go sit in your seat and work out what to do. It's, in the next month, we would like you to have achieved this. And then the next 3 months, we'd have liked you to achieve this. And you literally have a roadmap for where you need to go. And not only having the roadmap, but then having an instruction manual to help you get there. Because then you're empowering the individual. You're not just setting them up for failure and giving them the ability to kind of get lost. And then only 1 month later, you check in with them and you expect them to have done something, but you haven't really spoken to them, and that hasn't been done. So I think the best examples from our side really come to having a clear understanding with one another, about what the role entails, planning both a management structure and a training and education plan that can help guide you towards getting there, and then constantly checking in to see how the individual is doing towards getting there. And then if necessary, adapting it, but adapting it week on week as opposed to month on month or every 6 months.